If today you feel like something is stuck in your throat, a sticky layer that forces you to clear your voice even before you can speak, or you notice a lump that doesn't go down no matter how many times you swallow, I want you to know you're not alone. Many people come to my office with that same discomfort. Maybe someone already told you that you just need to drink more water because your throat is dry. And you try water, hot tea, herbal infusions, but the problem stays the same or even gets worse. Why does this happen? In the next few minutes, I'm going to explain, in simple terms, why water does not relieve that sensation, what truly causes that stubborn feeling of stuck phlegm, and what you can start doing today to deactivate the chemical responsible for it. As a physician, I've seen this situation dozens of times. I remember Mr. Ernesto, a 68-year-old patient who spent months thinking he had a chronic infection. He drank water all day long, yet that sticky sensation never moved. And every time he tried to speak, he had to clear his throat first. Like many others, he believed he was simply dehydrated. But the real problem was something entirely different. I'm Dr. Gabriel Mina, and I welcome you to my channel. Here we talk about holistic health, longevity, and natural, simple habits that help you maintain physical, mental, and emotional balance. So take note and share this with your family and friends to help them improve their health. We upload new videos every day, so make sure to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any updates. Before we continue, if you find this content helpful, something as simple as supporting the video or sharing it makes a big difference and helps this message reach more people who need it. And tell me in the comments which city or country you're watching from. I love knowing where our community is and which topics matter most to you. Thank you sincerely for being here and taking care of your health. Now let's get into the topic. This is not about taking another syrup or drinking more water. Regular water alone cannot detach the substance. Trying to get rid of that feeling with water is like trying to clean engine grease using only tap water. It gets wet, yes, but it does not come off. I want to clarify something important. Staying hydrated is always essential, but in many cases it's not the root of the problem. Often, the real cause is a chemical compound that remains stuck in your throat, and almost nobody talks about it. Today, we're going to deal with it directly. Why aren't water or syrups enough? To understand that, we need to talk about one of the main culprits. I'm not referring to allergy-related mucus, although it can sometimes be present. I'm talking about the real source of this discomfort, pepsin. Pepsin is a digestive enzyme whose normal job is to break down proteins such as meat, eggs, and fish inside the stomach. That is where it belongs. But here is where the trouble begins. Unlike liquid acid, which burns or rises with a strong sensation, pepsin can travel upward like a vapor or a fine mist, without producing any burning feeling. It's almost undetectable. It reaches the throat, sticks to the tissues around your voice box, and stays there quietly without obvious symptoms at first. Imagine you're a mechanic. Pepsin behaves like a thin layer of grease sticking not to your hands, but to the inside walls of your throat. And it has a very specific chemical characteristic. It is hydrophobic, meaning it repels water. That's why, even if you drink large amounts of liquids, the discomfort doesn't go away. Water simply slides off without cleaning anything. Every time you try to relieve the sensation with water alone, it's as if you were spreading the grease around instead of removing it. And the most concerning part is not that it stays there, it's that it can reactivate. What does that mean? When you consume acidic foods like oranges, tomato sauces, or carbonated drinks, that acidity reactivates the pepsin stuck to your throat. At that moment, the enzyme begins to work right where it shouldn't. And when it does, it starts irritating and inflaming the lining of your throat, producing that feeling of thick phlegm, that stubborn lump, and the constant need to clear your throat. When you feel that phlegm stuck deep in your throat, it's easy to assume it's dirt or thick mucus. But many times that's not the case. What you're feeling is your body's natural response, trying to protect itself from a silent chemical attack, pepsin rising from the stomach and sticking to your throat like a film that's hard to remove. That's why water isn't enough. You need a chemical solution strong enough to deactivate it. And in this case, that solution is alkalinity. To make this easier to understand, let me share a common example from my practice. Think of Manuel, a 63-year-old man. One day he walked into my office holding a bottle of water, taking small sips constantly. Before every sentence, he had to clear his throat. And he told me, "Dr. Mina, something isn't right down there. I've taken antibiotics, cough syrups, and I drink so much water that I spend the whole day in the bathroom." Although he didn't say it directly, Manuel was terrified of having laryngeal cancer. He had lived with that fear for 6 months, too afraid to tell anyone. When I examined him with a laryngoscope, I didn't find any tumors. What I did see was a red, shiny, irritated area at the back of his throat. That irritation indicated ongoing inflammation. And one possible cause, though not the only one, was silent reflux. In his case, we confirmed it was not cancer but chronic irritation triggered by repeated exposure to pepsin. The excess water he was drinking didn't help, it made things worse. Not because hydration is harmful, but because it didn't address the root problem. Manuel didn't need more liquids. He needed to neutralize the real culprit. And this leads us to the key question: how do we eliminate that type of phlegm and stop the irritation caused by pepsin? For this, I use a 3-step protocol. But before explaining the first step, I must emphasize something essential. If you have significant trouble swallowing, pain when swallowing, unexplained weight loss, blood in the mouth, a lump in the neck, or hoarseness that lasts more than 3 or 4 weeks, you should not try home strategies. You need medical evaluation immediately. If you don't have these warning signs, we can move ahead with simple and safe strategies. The first step is reducing friction. You can start today by using a kind of chemical soap to neutralize that stuck phlegm. If water doesn't remove grease, you need a solvent. And what is the solvent here? Alkalinity. Laboratory studies show that pepsin becomes inactive at a pH above 8.8. How can you apply this at home? Very easily, dissolve a small teaspoon of baking soda in a glass of water. When should you use it? After meals and right before bedtime. For how long? Gargle, only gargle, do not swallow, for about 30 seconds and then spit it out. Another option is bottled alkaline water with a pH of 9 or higher. However, there is an important caution. If you have kidney disease, uncontrolled high blood pressure, a low-sodium diet, or take multiple medications, you should consult your doctor before trying this method. If you're dealing with that stubborn feeling of phlegm stuck in your throat and you're looking for a real solution, it's important to understand that whatever method you try should never create more irritation. If you notice discomfort after using alkaline gargles, stop immediately and don't drink that mixture. As I explained earlier, simply rinsing your mouth after meals and before going to bed is enough to deactivate the pepsin that sticks to your throat. That's usually all you need. And remember, doing more doesn't mean you'll get better results. The key is not to overdo it. If that first step doesn't bring relief, then we move on to the second one. Here we focus on reducing friction even further by using a kind of physical barrier. I'm talking about alginates. What we want is to calm the stomach so that acidic vapor doesn't keep rising. There are over-the-counter options like sodium alginate, Almax, and similar products that create a protective layer over the food in your stomach. The most important thing is to take them right after eating and avoid drinking water immediately afterward, because too much liquid can break down that barrier. A small sip is fine, but nothing more. Then we reach the third step, avoiding the triggers that set off the problem. This means removing for about 2 or 3 weeks the foods that commonly activate silent reflux. It's not forever, it's just a trial period. Some of the most frequent triggers include citrus fruits, tomatoes, very spicy foods, coffee, and chocolate. After that time, you can gradually reintroduce whatever doesn't cause discomfort. That sticky feeling of phlegm often appears because of irritants we don't even realize are affecting us, and it's worth identifying which ones are affecting you. Baking soda can give you quick relief. Many people feel better within just 24 to 48 hours. But there's something important to understand. Neutralizing what rises doesn't fix the root cause. It's like masking a smell without closing the gas valve. If the valve at the top of your stomach doesn't close properly, that acidic vapor will keep rising at night, and you'll end up depending on baking soda just like some people rely on water, the way Manuel did. And that's exactly why you need to learn how to help that valve function better. How can you do that? With careful eating habits, the right sleeping position, and simple strategies that reduce the chances of reflux moving upward. Not long ago, I treated a patient named Amelia, 71 years old. She came to me worried because she felt a lump in her throat every night. She thought it was an infection, but after adjusting her sleeping posture, removing certain foods, and following the 3-step protocol, in less than 2 weeks she was finally sleeping without that constant irritation. Seeing her relief reminded me how many people go through the same thing without knowing what's really happening. And I want you to find that same peace. That's why I prepared a video where I explain how to manage gastroesophageal reflux at its root, in a practical and accessible way. I'm leaving it here for you so you can start improving today and finally understand what's happening in your body and how to support it. Before I say goodbye, I want to warmly invite you to become an active part of this channel. If this content is helping you, I encourage you to subscribe, share the video with someone who may be experiencing the same problem, leave a comment about your own experience, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any of the new videos we upload every day. Your participation truly helps this message reach more people in need. And I'd also like to invite you, from the heart, to take a moment to thank God for life, for the chance to keep learning, and for allowing us to grow in wisdom so we can take better care of our health. Every day is a gift, and taking care of ourselves is one way to honor that gift. Here on Dr. Gabriel Mina's channel, we are deeply grateful to walk with you on this path toward better health and healthier habits. Tomorrow you'll have a new video with practical, easy-to-follow information to help you keep improving your well-being. I'll be happy to see you there. It will be an honor to accompany you once again.